Pause this video right now and go and read Ultra Processed People by
Chris Van Tulleken. And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're about to tell you all about it. I'm Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Aisha Library.
Perfect. So.
Out of 10?
12.
1 million.
No, it has to. No, I mean, like, this is the book that you have to read.
Yeah.
But people are not gonna read it, and people don't care
because people follow entertainment in it. Well, even though this was entertaining.
Oh, it was very. It was. This is. It's one of the best, but you have to read it. It's about. It's obviously about ultra processed foods and what is ultra processed food
and what is food
and what is food. What is food exactly. But yeah, just to get into it, you may recognize these ingredients in your favorite foods. He was talking about gums, xanthan gums, emulsifiers. Bro, that's in everything. Facts. It's in your food, it's in your drinks, it's in your food, it's in your shampoos, it's in your creams. These are edible substances, and it's just like the food that we eat. It's an edible substance.
By the way.
Yes.
Bro, it's not you, it's the food. We have entered a new age of eating where most of our calories come from an entirely novel set of substances called ultra-processed food. Food which is industrially processed and designed and marketed to be addictive. But do we really know what it's doing to our bodies? No! Is the answer. By the way, that's the answer. We don't have the inkling of a shadow of an inkling of a clue.
We don't know what it's doing to us.
Literally, we didn't even know it was there.
We don't even notice. We actually look at it on the supermarket and say, "Oh, that's food," and it's not.
Literally,
it's not.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It's scary, actually.
But yeah, xanthan gum. Go and look in your cupboard. It's in there, in the ingredients. Xanthan gum is a slime that bacteria produces. Think of the accumulated gunk stuck to your filter to your dishwasher. That's it. These molecules are used to create a sticky or gummy texture. Most of all, they are very cheap. So yeah, all them gummies you eat, as I said, it's in the drinks, it's in the foods, it's bacteria slime. What do you think that's doing to you? What's more crazy, I don't even want to ruin it. But this nasty
that's
stuff
that's a crazy point to start off with, though. That's going in heavy from the beginning, because that is
listen. It's in all the ingredients, in
everything that you eat, everything you consume, everything you drink.
Joseph, I went into the shop. I don't know if I told you. I went into the shop. Long story short, I needed to get something to eat. I had my packed lunch, but I couldn't get back to work. I'm a lorry driver, so I went into Tesco's and I thought to myself, I need something, but I want to get something that's not ultra processed. That's got one ingredient in there, right? Something I can eat now. Went to the sandwiches, no. There was the only thing I could buy. There was only one thing, and it was a banana.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be cutting out sugar, so banana's not really good because it's natural sugars. Your body still treats it like a sugar. Banana was the only thing I could buy in a whole Tesco's. It was a Tesco's Express. Oh man, we're doomed. We're literally doomed. Bloody hell. But yeah.
Should obesity be regarded as a disease? The word obesity is rightfully offensive to many and is one of the only diseases that doctors blame patients for having. These are the words of the author, by the way. In this book, I will sometimes frame obesity as a disease because it helps to shift the burden of responsibility away from the patient. Should the burden of responsibility, these are my words now, be anywhere but the patient? If people believe that there's nothing wrong with being fat or overweight, then how do we explain the reluctance to accept responsibility for being fat or overweight? You would never refuse to accept responsibility for being rich or handsome, for example. I saw a video on YouTube where a guy with a camera asked a bunch of women on the street whether they thought Lizzo, the artist, was attractive. Almost all of them emphatically proclaimed that they did. Said, yeah, she's cute, yeah, this, yeah, that. On the last woman, she wasn't fat, she was a little bit chubby. On the last woman, the man said, you look like Lizzo, and she was visibly upset. So we can perceive a prominent cognitive dissonance, a contradiction in how people behave and what they say that they believe. And here's my last question. For people who may be overweight, if you could press a button to become thin, would you press it?
Of course you would. But one thing that the author did say was that it's not people's fault that they're fat.
Yeah, he disagrees with me on everything I just said.
And I kind of get it. I'm reading this book. I kind of believe him now. I'm kind of with him.
Yeah.
Obviously, we do put the foods into our mouth, so you cannot escape that responsibility. But there's a lot of this stuff we don't know, and the food is really causing us to be overweight,
100%.
obese as a
Even
nation.
what you said about the fats and whatnot.
Yeah,
that genuinely makes sense.
It's so true.
I think there's less responsibility on people than I did yesterday. Put it that way.
Yeah, definitely.
So he's
But
the
information's out there.
Yeah,
it is now.
literally.
So you ain't got no excuse anymore.
100%.
But yeah,
Especially once you see this video.
the author explains how processed foods were invented. He says butter was the first processed food. It was invented about 12,000 years ago. We know this from old paintings on ancient caves in and around Libya and Algeria. Butter was revolutionary because it had a longer shelf life than milk, and you could use it to accompany many things. There's only one problem with butter, and it's the same problem we have today with butter. It's expensive. You have to rear an animal, feed it for months or years until it lactates, and that takes time and money. It only makes sense that we'd eventually invent a plant-based substitute. I mean, it's got to be healthier, right? So yeah, that's one point. I've cut it in two, so we'll go back to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, butter was the first processed food. But, you know, nowadays we have margarine, and this kind of ties into what I was saying in one of the other videos. Bro, I'm telling you, there's millions of people out there who's never had butter before.
Yeah, no.
Who's never had butter.
When we grew up, we didn't have no butter when we was growing up. It's margarine. That's it.
Yeah, we used to
That's
have butter. You probably don't remember it.
What, Anchor butter?
We had Anchor butter in a metal tin. It was like a little butter tin.
I forgot the
and
metal
we
tin.
we hated it.
Yeah,
because the butter is too hard.
Yeah,
you know, it's hard to tear up your bread.
It tastes weird as well.
It tastes funny. So you know, let me go again quickly. I don't know how much points you got or whatever.
Well, again, I don't do like points. I've got like 1,500, 2,000 words. So
okay. Well, I just want to give a quick definition of what an ultra processed food is.
Yeah.
But first, what is a processed food? A processed food is anything that's cut, cooked, prepared. So, for example, tinned vegetables, bread, microwavable meals. Those all count as processed foods. Where ultra processed foods differ is that you have to look at the ingredients to spot them. If there's anything in the ingredients list, you wouldn't find in your kitchen, then that's an argument for it to be ultra processed. So in the book, the author, he's too careful. He's too passive. And in the end of the book, he basically says, food companies are trying to sue me, so I have to speak very, very carefully. But I would just say, go into your ingredients. If you see things that you would not see in your kitchen, emulsifiers, gums, colorings, flavorings, you see that stuff, it's ultra processed food, right? So as I said, any form of emulsifiers, flavors, colors, any weird things, then it's ultra processed food. But let me leave you with this chilling fact. There's a direct correlation between obesity and ultra processed foods. Since in the 1980s, every year the amount of ultra processed foods in our diet increases, and we get fatter on average every year. Maybe it's a coincidence though. Maybe it's a coincidence. Well, stay tuned. We're going to give you more information.
It's only the first chapter, and I feel like this author's giving away everything already. Like, inside the first chapter, I was like, you're giving away everything. The roadmap to everything now. All the secrets behind food or not food, and all the expedient machinations employed by food companies to turn a profit on something completely different than what we thought we just bought. I remember asking this question once on one of the first podcasts we did. Why don't chicken products taste like chicken? It's so weird to me. I was once eating a packet of Walker's roast chicken crisps, and I thought to myself, these taste nice, but it tastes nothing like chicken. So I looked on the back, and you know what it said? Blew my mind. It said, suitable for vegetarians. I said, what? How can chicken crisps be... I was furious. You should never mess with black man and his chicken. Never come between those. How can chicken flavoured crisps be vegetarian? On the ingredients, it said chicken powder, but there was no chicken in it. So what is chicken powder? What are these things? What is maltodextrin? What is that? I've never seen that. You can't buy that from the shop. You know what I mean? This book is a mindfuck. And as I write this note, I've decided to put it down and sober up before I continue reading.
So Chris decided... The author, he decided to do an experiment where he wanted his diet to consist of 80% of ultra-processed foods to see what it does to the human body. You know, you've got to remember that these products, these ultra-processed ingredients, have never been consumed in the entirety of human history. We have no idea what it does to our bodies long term. So he was conducting his own experiment, and he said, before I started, I wanted to go on a 4-week processed food cleanse where I don't consume any processed foods. He quickly found out that it was harder than he thought. He would opt for a healthy meal deal sandwich. The breads had emulsifiers, and the spreads were also ultra processed. So he had to make his sandwiches at home. He had to go to a bakery to buy the proper sourdough bread and real butter. He couldn't even use his favourite sauce, mayonnaise, because that is definitely ultra processed. That's what he said. So yeah, it's very, very difficult to get away from it. You think these foods are healthy, right? These healthy meal deal sandwiches, right? But it's got emulsifiers, it's got colourings and the flavourings. And you might say, yeah, but it's bread. Bread's healthy, you know. But as I said to you, these emulsifiers, these colourings, these gums, they are terrible for you. Yeah, they're terrible, and the people,
it's not just
the people,
junk food. You know?
Not only do we not know what it does to you long term, but on the tests, we'll get to that. Because these food companies have tested these products on animals before they give it to us, and they know the results of what happens to them, and they still give it to us.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but it's all to sign a profit, you know?
It's all to profit, yeah.
It's all because they're cheaper. Like, using them xanthan gums or whatever, how much money must that save you? And there was even that company, Procter & Gamble, that was trying to save money. In fact, again, we'll get to that, because I've got to wait on that as well.
I'm just conscious about how many you have. I don't want to be too far ahead. So you got... Okay.
So I've got some big ones.
You're good. Yeah, go on. Do you want to go or should I go?
Yeah, I'll go. The importance of butter. I studied cooking in college, right? On the course I was on, there were a lot of French techniques, a lot of French dishes. And in French cuisine, undeniably, the most important ingredient is butter. They use it for everything. Eggs are scrambled with butter, steaks are basted in butter, roux and bechamels are made from butter, beurre blanc, hollandaise sauce, some very famous French sauces, all made from butter. The most famous, arguably, item in the entirety of French cuisine, what would you say it was? Like the most famous, most noteworthy...
Snails.
Do you know what? That's a good guess. Croissant.
Yeah.
Made from butter, of course. Everything's made from butter. Everything in French cuisine is made from butter. It's a superfood, but until I read this book, I didn't know just how much of a superfood it was. Butter is an inverted emulsion, a solid, which means bacteria can't move through it as they would move through milk. This means that butter keeps for longer without refrigeration, and all of these advantages, of course, make butter expensive. But yes, like you said, like people go out, they don't have butter. They think, yeah, I can't believe it's not butter. It says butter on there. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing.
So there's a reason. As we're going to explain, there's a reason why the industry moved away from butter, because it's expensive. You've got to rear an animal for however amount of time, and then it's got to get pregnant and lactate, and then you've got to feed it all that time. So that's why they moved away from it, and they moved to a plant-based solution, margarine. It looks the same, tastes the same, you know, and it's just as healthy for you, right?
Yeah, it's yellow.
We'll get to it.
Right?
We'll get to it, yeah, right? Increased ultra-processed food intake is directly associated with cardiovascular death, all-cause mortality, strokes, all cancers, especially breast cancer, depression, blood disease, IBS, and dementia. There's a reason why. Right? There's a reason people think cancer and dementia... Sorry, there's a reason why cancer and dementia seems like it's on the rise. It's because it is.
Yeah, it is on the rise.
And it's directly linked to ultra-processed foods that we all eat so much of. You have to remember, this stuff has never been consumed in the history of human beings. Our bodies do not have the instructions handed down in our genes on how to handle this stuff. As I said to you before, it's just like the COVID vaccine. Nobody knows the long-term effects of ultra-processed food. It hasn't been out long enough for us to know. In 50 years' time, we could all drop dead.
Literally.
It's been out for 20, 30 years, you know. We don't know what it does. But according to this study, if we keep eating these foods, we probably will drop dead.
Or it won't be good.
And it's your family members died of cancer. It's cancer. Oh, it's this. It's heart disease. You know, all of these things, it comes from somewhere. There's a reason why it's on the rise. Right? Go on.
So, serving suggestions. How many of us look at the recommended servings per person on the packages of food that we buy? I'm willing to wager that even fewer of us actually stick to it if we did look, which we don't.
And it's funny. It's funny. Sorry, you know, we look at these servings and we're like, oh yeah, but that's just for that's not really for me. Yeah, it's for small people. You know, I eat more. That's the one, because I was there. Oh, I eat more than the average person. No, it's because you've trained yourself to eat more.
Literally,
that's what it is. Your body is very
you eat for more than sustenance.
Yeah.
Personally, and I'm not even ashamed to admit this, I eat till I'm full. A packet of Pringles says 6 to 7 portions per 185 gram package. There are about 92 Pringles inside a full-size tube. That means 15 Pringles per person per sitting. 15!
Yeah,
1-5.
I do that in one mouthful. Do you not sandwich them?
There's no way. I can't speak for anybody else, but the amount of times I have polished off an entire tube of Pringles down to the bottom till you have to shake the shards out. And literally,
but that's another thing that he said. He said, you know, it's also processed food when you find yourself eating every morsel,
every
morsel. There's chemicals in there that make you want to eat.
Yeah, more.
You know, who leaves 2 Pringles left in the pack? Never.
No chance.
So it's to the point where the crumbs, you're like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I was gonna do that on camera. I'm like,
you're smart.
But yeah, I've never even questioned it. I don't want to talk too much about Pringles now because I know there's some information coming about them. I didn't know what it was when I wrote this, but I know that there was information on Pringles coming.
You can't write a book about ultra-processed food and not touch on Pringles.
Come on. But it's shocking to me how little we know or care about what we're shoving into our mouths. Beyond the alleged flavour, we can't even be bothered to read the packaging. Like, we can't be bothered.
It's crisp.
Just get it in.
It's potato. It's healthy. It's good for you.
It's potato.
We ain't got a clue.
We don't have a clue. We don't deserve to live. We don't deserve to survive.
We deserve to be dying from these diseases that we're putting into our bodies.
Darwin's going to take care of all these people.
Oh my God. But yeah, guys, you got to remember that UPF, ultra processed foods, I'd rather just say it actually, because of shorts and stuff, innit?
Yeah, that's true.
You got to remember that ultra processed foods aren't made with love. It's not designed to nourish you and give you the nutrients you need. It's designed for profit. Right? To be as cheap as possible. Why would you want to eat something like that?
Once you bought it, all the goodness is already gone.
Before
you even eat it.
Yeah,
Once
exactly.
You bought it, its job's done.
But why would you want to eat something like that? Unless it's addictive. But ultra-processed foods aren't addictive, right? So, you know, as I said, look, there's no amount of notes that we can write down for you to get the full context of the book. We are not being paid by this author, but you have to go and read the book. 100%. You have to go and read the book. There's so much things in there. But yeah, go on.
But did you know that strawberries are not berries? Nutmeg is a hallucinogen. 25% of the world's hazelnuts end up in Nutella. That is how popular it is. McDonald's sells 2.5 billion hamburgers per year. 2.5 billion. All of these facts point to the inescapable conclusion that none of us know a single thing about anything that we eat. It's actually disturbing because what we eat is crucial to how long we live and what quality of life we get. Farm-raised salmon, which makes up 75% of the market, is dyed pink. It's not even really pink, it's grey. They dye it because they know, we roughly know salmon should look pink. We don't know why. We don't know how. We just know salmon's supposed to look roughly pink, so they let's dye it because they won't eat it if it's grey, right? It's ridiculous.
For dinner, Jose.
I'll see. It's done. It's done now. Now you can't.
I don't even want it no more.
Now you can't. We don't even know why. We just know. We just know if it's not pink, something's not right.
Something's amiss.
Exactly. Something's amiss anyways because they dye it. You know what I mean? So,
all fizzy drinks. Did you know? All fizzy drinks are acidic enough to dissolve a tooth. If you brush your teeth right after drinking a fizzy drink, the mouth is so acidic you'll be literally brushing away a slurry of enamel. In the UK, a quarter of 3-year-olds and 10% of 1-year-olds have tooth decay.
Already, you know.
Tooth extraction is the most common procedure performed on children under 10. That is simply unheard of in the history of the human race, till now. Why is it that no fizzy drinks and sugary snacks have any form of indication or warning label that these products cause tooth decay? Decay.
Yeah.
Not filling, decay.
Literally,
rotting your teeth
1
away.
and 3-year-olds, you know, don't have a chance. They just got teeth.
They just got teeth and they're drinking so
them.
much sugary drinks. It's not even like they're drinking so much. They're drinking sugary drinks. You know, we drink this stuff and we're just like, oh, did you know? Fun fact, right? Look, I've removed ultra processed food, but the last thing left is alcohol. I like drinking alcohol because obviously it's a good time, right?
Yeah.
Guess what I did yesterday?
You drank alcohol.
Of course I did. That's not nothing to do.
Saturday
So
night,
what I
that's the
did, so what I did is I bought some organic carrot juice because it's not you can get organic fruit juices, but again I'm not trying to do the sugar. Carrot juice, right? Drank it of carrot juice, which organic carrot juice was very expensive. It's about £3.50 for 700ml. Right?
Yeah,
I had to get loads of bottles of that, and it was nice. You can drink alcohol with carrot juice, but then I moved one step further.
What did you do?
I'm now an alcohol drinker who dilutes the alcohol with water.
Okay.
It's nice.
Yeah, no,
It's nice. I thought it'd be nasty.
I've done it with water.
So I did AU grape with water, and it was alright. And then I did Captain Morgan's with water.
Yeah, I drink whiskey and water. There's nothing wrong with that. Or if you're like whiskey with ice in it, ice will melt.
Of course,
water.
Yeah.
So no, it's definitely a thing that people do.
me
And
now.
it's probably actually it's really good for you.
It's a lot better.
Comparatively,
yeah, definitely. Because
comparatively, the best is not.
These mango juices and all these apple juices, all of that, they've got the xanthan gum in there.
Literally.
That bacterial slime.
Literally.
That you put into your body.
The most popular drink out there. Gin and tonic, Jack and Coke, rum and Coke, something with Coke in there.
Yeah.
Vodka, lemonade, things like this. These fizzy drinks, oh my god, they put them back.
I'm gonna get started with
People
Coke.
just put them back. Oh yeah, I'm about to get started.
Coke,
I'm about to get started.
Coke is eye opening what he says about
it's
Coke.
very eye
But
opening.
actually, I think it's your turn.
Yeah. Are Pringles crisps or are they cakes?
Yeah.
In the early 2000s, the company that launched the potato crisp Pringles, Procter & Gamble, argued in court that Pringles lacked sufficient potato content to be legally branded crisps.
Pause. Let's just make this clear. Pringles themselves went to court to try and prove their own product
didn't have enough potato in it to be a crisp.
They did that. But you might think to yourself,
they made it.
Yeah, you might think to yourself, well, why would they do that?
Why would they do this? Makes no sense.
Yeah, but there's always there is the reason why we do everything in life. There's a reason why everybody does everything. It's because of money.
And it's always money. It comes down to money at the end of the day. Yeah, they did this for the sake of declassifying their product as subject to VAT, so as to better compete with brands like Doritos, which are made from corn and have no potato in them. So according to VAT, according to like Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, snacks with potato in them are subject to VAT, and snacks without potato are not. And no one knows why. They just know these are the rules, right? So if your thing's got potato in it...
It's an old rule, but basically it's crisps are more a snack, whereas cake is more a necessity. It's like a
staple is what they call it.
Because it's breads and cakes.
Exactly. So Jaffa cakes are a staple because they're cakes, not biscuits. And biscuits are snacks. So they're like, we could tax this, but we can't tax cake. You know.
Yeah. So that's why. So Pringles wanted to save themselves a couple $1 million a year.
Oh, probably more than that.
No, but definitely.
It was tax. After hearing this for the first time, I've decided they're right. Pringles aren't crisps. I've decided myself Pringles are not crisps. They don't taste like crisps. They're not shaped like crisps. They're made from dough and they're baked, whereas crisps are sliced potatoes that are fried.
Which we probably didn't know because I don't know what they did.
No one thinks about anything.
I don't know what they did with Pringles.
Everything about Pringles is different from crisps in almost every way, from preparation to eating experience. In fact, I specifically bought Pringles for this exact reason. And I said to myself, why is it that Pringles are the only crisp that each and every single one of them is identical? It's the only crisp you can think of. Potatoes do not come identical. Even Doritos, they're roughly triangle. They're roughly triangle, but they'll be different shapes. Every single Pringle is identical down to the last molecule. That is not natural. These are not crisps. And I said to myself, on the tube, it doesn't say crisps anywhere on the tube. It's some crazy Mandela effect. I could have sworn there was crisps on this yesterday when I bought these. And then I was looking at it when I was reading it, and I said, there's no crisps anywhere written on this. It says sour cream and onion flavour savoury snack. So there's no sour cream in there, and there's no onion in there, because it says sour cream flavour.
You're blowing my mind.
It's not crisps.
I've read the book, and you're still blowing my mind.
These are cakes. They're literally cakes. They're not even crisps. They've got less than 40% potato in them. They're not potato. They're not crisps. They're not sour cream. They're not onion. So what is in it?
It's junk. That's
seriously what's in this.
Rubbish.
It's ridiculous.
That's what it is. But it tastes good though.
A tube I've looked at for years that I could have sworn says crisps on there doesn't actually say crisps at all. So who told me that Pringles are crisps? Who said that?
You go and ask someone. We need to go on the street.
Microphone.
Excuse me, sir. What are these? Oh, those are crisps. Wrong. Excuse me, sir. What are they? I'm telling you, everybody tell you they're crisps.
Everyone's gonna say crisps.
Bloody hell.
It's ridiculous.
They've tricked us.
They've literally
They didn't even tell us they were crisps.
No one told us they was crisps. They argued in court that they weren't crisps. It couldn't have been them.
I didn't go on the news though. I don't remember. Maybe I'm too young. Maybe I'm too young.
2006?
Oh,
I think
I was still too young.
2009? Yeah. Around that time anyways. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, this brings us on. This is going to bring us on to the next topic we was talking about. Since 2002, the average body weight has increased by 2 kilograms. Meanwhile, actually, I want to read it anyway. I think I'm going to read it anyway. Since 2002, the average body weight has increased by 2 kilograms. Meanwhile, our calorie intake has been falling for decades. So that leads scientists to believe that it was a lack of exercise, lack of active exercise that was the cause of obesity. Let's blame everything apart from the foods that are making us billions of dollars.
Yeah, of course.
I wonder who was funding these scientists, eh? That leads me to conflicts of interests. But just to be clear, so basically in the book, this is a little bit misleading because our calorie intake hasn't been falling for decades. In the book, the scientists just thought that it was because we've done a study that shows that we eat less than we did now. Less than we did back then, but they found out that's not the case. People lie about their calorie intake, especially a nation that's overweight. You know, we're all going to say, oh, we don't snack as much, oh, we eat this. So, but when I wrote the note, I didn't get to that point yet. So yeah, we do eat more calories nowadays anyway. But yeah, conflicts of interests. A conflict of interest is when someone's judgment or actions at work are or could be affected by something unconnected with their role. This includes any circumstances that affect or could be seen to affect someone's independence or impartiality. I'll give you an example because I just had to read the definition just for everybody, but you probably won't get what I'm talking about from that. Yeah. But failing to investigate a subordinate or co-worker's wrongdoings because they are a friend. Right? It's a conflict of interest because the company you work for wants your colleagues to be dealt with fairly. If you're not gonna, reprimand or investigate somebody who's your friend, it means it's a conflict of interest. Failing to disclose that you're related to a job candidate in the company who the company is considering hiring, that's another conflict of interest. It's a conflict of interest because it's going against the company's interest for their own personal gain. Coke are the biggest crooks when it comes to conflicts of interest. Coca-Cola, Coke.
The most popular soft drink ever.
The most popular soft drink ever. They fund research that provides studies to the masses to show evidence that sugary drinks do not increase obesity. Coke funds countless papers by scientists, including a very popular one entitled Exercise is Medicine. Coca funded over 400 papers by scientists in an attempt to prove that exercise is the key. They paid $5.4 million to one scientist who released 89 papers. These are conflicts of interest because it's in Coke's best interest for people to believe that exercise is the key to fitness and it's not the sugary drinks that are causing obesity. You got to realise, people, that this is not the pharmaceutical industry. There is no regulation. They can tell us what they want, backed by the words of the scientists, who are basically mercenaries for hire.
Of course. Of course, because who's going to fund their research if they don't find out the right stuff? They don't find out what they're paid to find out.
Why? So, it's Coca paying scientists to tell you, to come up with their research, to tell you that it's not the sugary drinks. If you exercise, you know how much sports teams, McDonald's and Coke sponsor. I always thought it was weird when I'd go to tournaments playing football and McDonald's would be sponsoring it and this, that and the other. These guys, they're so smart with their brand. They're thinking years ahead, They're thinking, okay, we'll give these people food now. In a year or two, they're going to get fat. So what we're going to do is we're going to sponsor sports things and we're going to pay scientists to do research to funnel the research out to everybody. So we, for some reason, think that if we exercise, we lose calories, we're going to get in shape.
Yeah.
And that's a lie. It's a lie.
In fact, Coke are not the only ones who do this. You know who the biggest criminals does sponsor sports teams? It's Red Bull. But again, we'll get onto this to be fair. Because Red Bull is actually, I thought Pepsi or like Fanta or something like that would be the second most popular drink. Red Bull is the second most successful soft drink of all time after Coke. Red Bull, 100%. They said it is the best attempt by a mile to compete with Coca-Cola. The best. But I explained that.
And it's funny. Well, you did explain to me before.
Yeah, I did.
But it's funny because, when something's functional, it's like the protein bars. When something's functional, it can be something that's pleasure. Pleasure. So Coke is for pleasure.
Trying to achieve an outcome.
I need an energy boost. I need the Red Bull, the caffeine. Do you get what I'm saying? So
it tastes funny, and you think, oh, that's the caffeine. You just trick yourself into thinking all kinds of. Maybe it is. Maybe it is doing something. Maybe it's not. But I put the mind games of sushi. I like sushi, right? As I'm sure many people do. When they opened the Itsu in Brixton High Street a while back, I said, result, I'm going to get some sushi. Now, there's a guy on YouTube, and I heard him say this about sushi. He said, if you had never eaten sushi before, and you heard that there was an African tribe or an Amazon tribe that ate raw fish wrapped in rice with a leaf around it, you'd be like, what's wrong with them? Now, sushi is one of the most genius ideas because it appeals to people on a psychological level. It's artistic. It's like cut into circles and pieces or whatever. You eat it with chopsticks and you look down your nose at the people who don't like it and tell them that they have childish palates. It's all part of the fun. It's extremely cheap to sell because you don't pay VAT on raw food. If it's cooked, you have to pay tax per sale to the government. It's fish, but the amount of fish per sushi is minuscule. Minuscule. The rice is flavourless and cold, and rice is like the cheapest ingredient anyway. It's wrapped in seaweed, which costs nothing. Despite this, places like Itsu, Wagamama, Wasabi, they sell sushi plats for like £15 and upwards because it looks artistic. These are the ways in which companies play games with our minds. They paid nothing for this, and we're paid everything for this. And laughing, you know, haha, you childish, don't like sushi, haha. You've got to drench it in soy sauce to even enjoy it. It's so weird because I like sushi. I was thinking about this and I was like, this is a trick. This is a trick.
That wasn't in the book?
No, there was a bit about sushi, but they reminded me about. I did my own research for this, but it is genuinely a trick.
You blow my mind with that again. That's
it's a ridiculous trick.
Blow my mind with. Jesus.
It's ridiculous because you don't pay VAT on raw food.
So is it deserving of the extra money then? Because of the cleverness.
I think it's a genius idea that whoever had it is making disgraceful shillings.
Yeah, no, it is mad though because we would turn down our nose at an African tribe eating raw fish.
Yeah, 100%.
We'd go,
ridiculous. But because civilized people are doing it.
Imagine Coke has got so much sugar in it. The only way you will drink it is if it's ice cold and carbonated. These sensory tricks suppress some of the sweetness and sneaks the poisonous sugary liquid past your first line of defense, your tongue, right? Your body's trying to tell you, this is too sweet. The kidneys can't handle it and it's going to give you high blood sugar, you know? So our tongues are very good at trying to keep us alive, but we use these techniques. So try it. You go have your Coke room temperature on flat. You drink it, you're like, yeah, I don't like it. Of course you don't. It's the cold and the bubbles that trick you to make you think you like it. It's crazy. Imagine us eating. We have food. I mean, we have food in this day and age. Like, we have to eat hot because when it's hot, you can't really taste it. As you're eating it, just the only way you like it. I like this food. No, you fucking don't, you idiot.
Yeah, you don't. It's shocking your brain. It's the cold. It's the fizz. It's shocking your brain, shutting your senses down, basically, or overwhelming your senses, I should say. And it's just people go to Coca.
I love Coke. I still do.
I've never loved Coke.
Oh really?
Never ever
Coke it. What?
I've never ever loved it.
You have that bad boy ice cold when it's hot. Bit of rum in there. God. Coke is nice, but it's nice for a reason. It's nice poison. It's poison. It's literally linked to high blood pressure and all of that. They do a technique called speedball, right? Which is what I was trying to tell you before. Yeah. I feel like I'm getting deja vu. Did we talk about this?
You did tell me about it before, but to be fair, not only did I already know about it, I even just reread it in the book as well.
Yeah, so speedball, it's where they offset two opposite chemicals or flavours so they can bump it up. So they put they put a lot of sugar in it and they go, let's put a bit of salt in it to even it out, and they put more sugar and more salt just to bump it all the way up.
Yeah.
So your body when you it's like a drug.
Yeah,
it's a drug because when you put that in all the amount of sugar into you, your body goes, oh, it's like a hit, like a cocaine. You take it and your body goes, whoa.
Yeah, no,
I like some of that.
Yeah,
do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, it's like we do with vodka Red Bull, isn't it? So the vodka's a depressant and it brings your heart rate down. Caffeine brings your heart rate up. So if you keep balancing it out, you could do more vodka, more Red Bull, more Red Bull, and just drugs all the way up. And then the hard drug versions with cocaine and what is it? What's that one? No, crack cocaine is the one that brings.
Oh, alcohol. That's what they do.
Is it alcohol?
Because alcohol makes you. If you drink a lot of alcohol, it's gonna make you go to sleep. I'm a victim of it all the time.
Heart rate goes down.
And then they take cocaine,
it's another kind of drug. I think it's heroin. that like brings your heart rate down.
Is it?
And it's like you'll die from like heart attack or whatever.
Oh, is it heroin? Because they do. I know they do light and dark. So they do cocaine and they do heroin together, innit? They mix it. I think it's that.
I think that's what.
Not cocaine. It's crack and heroin together.
Okay.
They do them together.
It is.
Not that I know.
Yeah,
I don't really know anything about it.
The fact that we even don't sound like we don't know what we're talking about. It's good,
exactly.
Isn't it?
Exactly.
Chili can hack your brain. I'm sure lots of people have heard this. Chilies are not actually hot. Nature can't produce a hot fruit because it would take an immense amount of energy. Evolution affects survival skills.
Wait. So our mouth's not on fire. Our brain just
Of course not. Of course not.
Wait. So your brain is telling you that your mouth is on fire.
Your brain's telling you to panic. You're there.
So wait. No, it's not in my head.
It's in your head.
So your brain is making your tongue hot, or
Yeah.
is your tongue not even hot?
Well, essentially, what's happening is, I put evolution affects survival skills, right? There are predators and prey. Predators have hunting, prey have defense. In order to avoid being eaten, the defense of the chili is that it carries a chemical called capsaicin. This chemical triggers nerves in the skin and the mouth that usually only trigger at temperatures of 100 degrees or more. It's like your brain's a minefield and the chili's popping the mines one by one, basically. So its defense to avoid being eaten it makes you feel like your mouth's on fire.
It's not a defense to not be eaten.
Well, it isn't, because they like it when parrots eat them.
Huh?
Parrots eat the chili and then they spread the seeds and they germinate.
Well, as I said,
but they don't want rodents and things like that to eat it.
They do. They want you to bite it, burn, spit it out. Evolution. Spread the seeds.
That's a good idea as well. That's good. Yeah, that's genius.
Because you don't. I mean, it is red, which is like a danger in evolutionary. It's in nature, but it would evolve in a way to be prickly or spiky if it didn't want. Because plants evolve, humans evolve, everything evolves.
Yeah,
to be prickly. Yeah, it would be prickly if it didn't want to be eaten. But it's worked out somehow, through evolution that. Someone bites, spits it,
or it's only the seeds that are hot.
It's the seed. Well, you spit it all out. You bite into it,
spit it all out.
I mean, even these things, even seeds for a reason they pass through us, and even birds and animals shit them out, and then they planted in for feces, which is nutrients and stuff like that.
Which is the thing that's funny though is like, how do these companies make chili flavored crisps and things like that? How do they make crisps hot? If chilies are not hot, how do Doritos make chili heat wave Doritos? Do you know what I mean? What's in that?
Just explain to me again, how does it make your mouth?
They said it triggers certain senses in your skin and your mouth that usually only trigger 100 degrees or more. It makes you feel hot. It triggers the same senses that you use to experience heat. Basically, but it's not hot.
It's a trick.
It's all trickery. But it's weird because the author said life is basically bacteria. The ecosystem is bacteria fighting against bacteria, and that's it. And then you just scale up till you get to primate, but it's still bacteria fighting against bacteria. So food is waging war on us. Basically, food's attacking us. It's like you eat pineapple, your tongue hurts. Why?
Yeah, my tongue gets.
It's attacking you. Yeah, food can literally attack us. Bacteria fighting against other bacteria. Let me do the Coca one. Why is Coca-Cola so fizzy? Again, this is common knowledge. In fact, it's something that I'm fairly sure most people would be able to joke about. You pop open a can of Coke and that first sip sends you to Jupiter. You could taste a little cola, but mostly what your brain gets is cold, fizzy. Coke is almost certainly the most popular soft drink in supermarkets, but one thing that unites all Coke drinkers is that none of them will drink Coke flat. It's the best, most desirable drink out there. Every McDonald's has it, every KFC have it, every Burger King has it, Sainsbury's and Tesco sell it by the litre. It's easily the most common mixer sold in bars and pubs, but if it's not fizzy, it's everybody's worst nightmare. Nobody even look at it, won't entertain it.
That is so
And the reason for this is allegedly, without the fizz and the cold to overload your senses, you can actually taste how much sugar is in it. In the average 330ml can of Coke, there's about 35 to 40 grams of sugar, which is equal to the recommended sugar intake for an adult male human per day. In one can of Coke, there's all the sugar you need for a day. Most people buy whole litre bottles.
Yeah,
Stop drinking it.
I'm telling you, a can is not enough for anybody.
Oh, ridiculous. A 330ml can is this size, And people are buying 1 litre bottles, more than 1 litre bottles. People are going to the club to buy rum and Coke.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Of course, we're getting fat. Of course.
God.
Makes total sense now.
This is the thing, I can read this book, right, and I'm still not getting all these things.
Yeah, no,
you miss things.
You
miss it's good talking to you about it, because I'm like, I know there's a lot of sugar, but I didn't realise, the information went over my head when they said it has the whole of your daily sugar intake in one can.
And obviously, that's not natural sugars.
When you go to the shop and you want a bottle of Coke, you're getting the 500ml. You're not getting the can anyway.
Oh yeah,
you're getting the bottle.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
You're getting the bottle, so you're way over that. You're not having one drink for the day.
Cans is if you buy the multi-pack.
Yeah,
cans.
you're not. Yeah, because why would you buy a can? Do you know what I mean?
Nobody
so
buys
the bottle. No one has one drink a day. That's not the only sugar. You have a Coke. You're not going to drink water after. You want another soft drink. You want a juice.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Oh my God!
Of course, we're getting fat. Of course, makes total sense now. When you're thinking about it from the sake of, exercise. Why can't I get thinner? Exercise. Why can't I get in shape? Why can't I get in shape? When you think about it like this, of course we're not getting in shape. Stuffing your body with sugar.
Well, you've led me on to my next point beautifully. You cannot lose weight by exercising. Did you hear that bit? Did you see that bit? Whether you run, stay with me. I know you think, what's this guy chatting rubbish? Whether you run 10 miles every day or you sit on your ass, you burn the same amount of calories. Sounds wrong, doesn't it? That can't be right, can it? Well, it is. But how do scientists know this? Well, scientists went to study the Hadza in Tanzania. They're a hunter-gatherer tribe. Have you heard of them?
I haven't heard of the tribe, but hunter-gatherer.
Yeah, no, but they're quite famous. There's a lot of YouTube. There's this guy, I don't know his name. This Asian guy. He's got long hair. He went out and lived with them on Joe Rogan's podcast. They're kind of famous anyway. So yeah, scientists went to study the Hadza in Tanzania. They're a hunter-gatherer tribe. The men go out hunting and the women gather berries and plants. They measured how many calories the men and women burned on average every day. When they found out the results, the scientists were shocked. They had to retest multiple times because that couldn't be right. What they found out is that men and women from the Hadza tribe, who are on their feet all day, working hard, burn the same amount of calories every day as the average men and women in New York. It's very confusing. You think, how is us sitting here right now burning the same calories as somebody running 10 miles? Well, the answer is actually very simple. Evolutionarily, the human body is obviously designed to survive. Your body is very clever and it adapts to our lifestyles. So if we need to run every day, for example, for food, it limits the use of other subconscious mechanisms going on inside our bodies to conserve energy, to stop us burning as much calories. Our body wants to keep hold of calories. Calories are effectively energy. So that's good as far as the body's concerned. It doesn't want you to burn calories. Your body's optimized for survival. So, yeah, scientists have worked out now, this is new study, that you can't exercise doesn't help you lose weight, because you might exercise one day and you might burn some calories or whatnot. You got to remember, we use these devices that tell us how much calories we burn. Look, the device hasn't got a fucking clue. Yeah, the device is optimized. The device checks your heart rate, right? And your device says, okay, well, his heart rate is on this, so according to the way I've been programmed, he's lost this amount of calories. And these devices are programmed because of what scientists believe before, in terms of heart rate equals burning calories. So nobody knows, unless you do an actual scientific study, which is what they did on their Hadza tribe, to work out how much calories they actually burned. We don't know. We use these devices that tell us that we burn calories.
Tell us
it's numbers. It's just a number that they stick on there, and you feel good about that number. I burned 300 calories today. No, you fucking haven't.
Let me have my Coca.
You know what I mean?
Oh God,
bro! I used to go run half marathons and say, yeah, I deserve this slice of cake. You know,
tricking ourselves.
Yeah. Oh,
tricking
right.
ourselves.
Days.
It's disgraceful.
But why is it that we believe that exercise burns calories?
Someone told us.
Coke.
Yeah.
They done the study. Exercise is healthy.
Exercise is medicine.
Exercise is medicine. It's all these scientists. It's all these organisations paying scientists £5.4 million to further their goal. There's no link between coconut obesity. Exercise is medicine. You can burn it off, you know, This is why we believe that. Because they're cooking. It's terrible. We have found out now, but if they went on the news and they said, Coke is making you obese. Even Coke, do you do a Diet Coke? They say, oh yeah, just in case, you know, with diet. You know,
Diet Coke apparently is worse for you than Coke because it's got sweeteners instead of sugar. And sweeteners is just like, what is sweetener?
Was natural. Sweeteners.
What is sweetener? What is it?
Chemicals,
literally, that they've sprayed with stuff. Oh, it's ridiculous. I've got 2 points left, but they're two big ones.
Alright, let me go, because I've got probably 3 or 4. Alright. 90% of us eat ready meals regularly. The industry in the UK is worth £4 billion. The author Chris realised something as he licked clean the plastic box after he devoured his microwave meal. We always find ourselves finishing these snacks to completion. You never leave one crisp in a packet or one biscuit left in a tin. And don't we all lick the yogurt lids clean?
No,
well, yeah, is that not what white people think?
It's not so within our household.
It's funny. I was at work and I basically said, "Is that a white people thing that they lick the yogurt?" It's
Yeah, I
clean.
saw Chloe do it. We had yogurt here. And I looked at her and she said, "You know, it's the first time it's been done in this household ever."
Like
Ever.
I would, I'd use a spoon and I'd scrape your lid to get it off.
civilized person.
But yeah, I lose doing that. That's just wild. It's wild.
It's wild. It's ridiculous.
I've got. All right, I've actually got a few. Let me just do one more.
Yeah.
So after Chris's diet of 80% ultra processed foods, after only 4 weeks, he put on 6 kilograms of weight. If he continued for a year, he would have doubled his weight. But wait till you hear the surprising part. He went for the second part of his MRI, the before and the after. There was a significant change in how the different parts of his brain interacted with each other. The wiring hadn't changed, but the information had. The neurologist explained that over a longer period of time, the information change is what triggers the physiological change. If you think of the wiring of a brain like a city, think London, for example. There's busy main roads and there are side roads. If the information stops going down the main road and starts using the side road, after a while, the side road opens up and becomes a main road. The neurologist said that it's fascinating that the food had such a massive effect on you in such a short space of time. Not to mention, you are a fully developed adult. What do you think it's doing to children? We simply have no idea. But we do know messing around with reward paths is not a good idea.
Definitely not.
I mean, after all, that's what the most addictive drugs do.
Literally, even when you just said like how quickly is the food affecting you, you know what that sounds like? Crack. Remember what we were talking about? Crack hits your body within 10 seconds. Literally, that's what makes it so addictive because of how fast acting it is.
Before we finish this, we're kind of at the end, but before we finish this, I just want to make it clear that we'd never kill ourselves. We're very, very, it doesn't matter how difficult life gets.
Oh yeah, of course.
We would never kill
Suicide's
ourselves.
never an
We would never suicide.
Definitely not.
Because you know this information that we're releasing, you know, there's people out there that don't
Yeah,
want
no,
it.
100%.
There's billions of pounds are at stake. Hundreds of billions of pounds are at stake.
Yeah, 100%. Even the guy was like, they're suing me, so I have to be careful.
Bro,
See this
he
video?
had to get he had to
Big windows, you know.
He,
you know what I mean?
His sniper out there. What we're recording. But yeah, literally the author had to have his book read by multiple legal teams in Canada, UK and the USA.
They use different law systems, innit? So I just want to cover all my bases.
He had to get,
Make sure.
you know, bloody hell.
Yeah, come on. If people are willing to like poison a nation for profit, what do you think they'll do to you, one person? Do you know what I mean? They'll do whatever they have to.
Do you know what I mean?
Why is sugar so addictive? A scientist at Yale conducted a study whereby she theorized that humans gravitate towards flavors that raise our blood sugar levels. So when we drink things like Coke, we get a massive blood sugar spike, and it subtly rewires our brain to want those flavors, like a hit of nicotine. More mind games.
So do you like it or do you want it?
Exactly, that is a big question.
Do you really like it?
You didn't even know that's how you pick flavors, though.
Yeah.
So how could you possibly know such a thing like that? For the purpose of turning a profit, scientists are conducting experiments to not only find out how consumers pick products, but also how to make sure consumers pick their products. Typically, we choose these products not because we like the taste, or not because they're nutritious, but because it says something to us that we're not consciously hearing. Red Bull is tiny, expensive, and nobody knows what it tastes like, but the drink is so unbelievably successful, the company can afford to own 3 football teams and 2 Formula 1 teams, and nobody even knows what the drink tastes like. What flavour is Red Bull? You don't know. It's not energy, that's not a flavour. What flavour is Red Bull?
I know
it doesn't even say it on the can.
I know it looks like.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's like piss.
Oh my god, it looks it's no one's sure if they
When I
like
first
it, no
tried,
one's sure
yeah,
what it tastes
that
like.
is so true. I couldn't possibly say when I first tried it. I couldn't say I liked it. I always thought it was weird.
It's definitely weird.
It's
It
an
tastes
acquired.
weird.
It's an acquired taste. I can drink it.
Weird flavour. That's what it is. And nobody knows what it tastes like. These ones make so much
Have you had
money.
the tropical one,
They can
though?
afford. Yeah, we sold at work as well.
Bad.
It's
Bad.
over. These man can afford. What's it? Verstappen, Ricardo, all of these people to drive for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous money. Ridiculous. Disgraceful shillings. As I say. Have you tried the watermelon one, by the way? There's a
I
watermelon.
think I've tried all of them. I did. Like, I went for a. I didn't. It's not that I went for a phase. I felt like I needed energy. It's functional, and then I started on them and whatnot.
Now that they're famous, they can start marketing like normal flavors as opposed to like the original Red Bull. People buy it 'cause of the brand now.
Yeah. Fun fact, our noses are very sensitive. We used to believe that we can distinguish between 10,000 different smells. We now know that is wrong. It's too small of a number. We can actually accurately detect up to 1 trillion different smells. But yeah, this. I've actually got 2 more. I've got 3 more, but I'm gonna use 2 of them. But there are over 2,000 colorings that are safe to use. This industry is self-regulated, so they do not have to do any testing. These are the colorings that are in our food, right? Some scientists from the US Toxicology Center did a study on a food coloring called isoeugenol because it had a similar molecular structure to another coloring that has been proven to cause cancer. Isoeugenol is found in drinks, cakes, and other baked goods. So they gave isoeugenol to mice, and they found clear evidence that isoeugenol is clearly linked to liver cancer. 80% of the mice developed tumours on their liver. And you know what these companies say? Oh, that's mice.
That's mice.
Oh, that's mice. That's mice. It'll be fine. And they give it to us. That's what they do. This is self-regulated. This is the colourings in our food. The colourings and the emulsifiers that have been proven to make your gut leak.
That's crazy.
Proven.
In fact, author even said, he literally said the way scientists look at testing on rats and mice, they look at it and they say, potential problem in a rat is a potential problem in a human. But absence of problem in a rat does not necessarily mean an absence of problem in the human. But still, these companies are like, yeah, it's only a rat.
And they'll say, oh, well, we gave the rat this dose, we'll give humans this dose, and it'll probably be alright until you realise that you're having the emulsifier in your drink, you're having an emulsifier in your food, you're having an emulsifier in your dinner, you're having an emulsifier in this and that, you're having emulsifiers in your shower gel, and emulsifiers in your cream and your sun lotion.
Over 60 years,
Bloody
what
hell.
is all these emulsifiers, all these xanthan gums, all these maltodextrins, all these chemicals, you don't know what they are,
colorings,
that you genuinely couldn't name. Like, you look at these things on the back of any given product in your house, and you can't name any of these, you don't know where they come from or what they do.
You're like, it's just to keep it. Literally. I spoke to my dad about it. I said, why is there all those ingredients in your bread? He said, it's just to keep it.
Yeah, see, my dad's the worst for things like that. You just start talking.
Yeah. So, it's very interesting. As I said, we ain't even scratched the surface.
We haven't scratched the surface, but I've got another point, but I remember I was watching a video, it was an Andrew Tate video. He was talking about vapes, and he literally said, like, you buy a vape oil from like Poundland or whatever, it's 99 pence. He said it's made in China or whatever. They're making a profit on 99 cents
from China. They've sent it from China to here, and they're still making a profit.
They've exported it. They're making a profit on 99 cents. You plug this into a battery that you charge from a USB cable on a PlayStation, and you breathe it in. You know, and it's like, you don't know what is in any of these.
He said it tastes like
apple. It's apple flavour, but there's no apples in there. It can't be. Look how small it is. There's no chance there's apples in there, and no one knows what's in anything.
I've actually had a thought since reading this book, because we as humans, I don't understand why exactly, but he kind of said in the book that we're addicted to textures, softer textures. You know, most of the things that we like are soft. Our food, ultra-processed food, is pre-chewed. We don't have to chew much to eat them. You know, we like biscuits, but we prefer soft-baked cookies. You know, the soft-baked and soft stuff. So is that why we like steak medium rare? Because it's softer. Because we're addicted to that.
Texture definitely is a big part
because there's a reason why we all have to have our wisdom teeth taken out nowadays. There's never before in history we had those teeth for a reason, right? But we have to have them taken out. Why? Because our jaws are smaller. Why? Because we don't chew anything anymore. You know, we were in the wild. Even breads up until recently they're all processed. It was processed now. Breads was tough, you have to chew it, eat it, on the outside, and that develops your jaw and it makes it wider. So it can handle the wisdom teeth. So yeah,
that is crazy. That's a good point. Actually, as bacteria war within our bodies, as predator competes with predator for prey. As prey competes with prey for vegetation, so too do food companies compete with each other to see who can turn a profit by selling us the least food possible. That is literally the game. Sell the least food possible, turn a profit. Scientists combine food content. Scientists combine chemicals we've never heard of to recreate flavours and textures that remind us of food at cost. They run tests and focus groups to see why consumers choose products and rely on the idiosyncrasies of human psychology to learn how to stimulate the areas of our brain that guide us to make these choices, even if we ourselves are not certain why. It's player versus player, and the 21st century human race is the largest ever human focus group.
Yeah, I mean, there's a point that I wanted to note down that I didn't note down. Germany in the 1930s figured out how to make margarine or butter, should I say, as we call it, butter, from the waste product of coal. Coal. They make the fat that they can then turn into butter. So this is what we're eating. This edible substance. Oh, it's edible fat. They put a little bit of chemicals in it and make it yellow, and that's butter.
People have always, food companies and drink companies and these product companies have always done this. They just put things in drinks and put things in food. Like Coca-Cola originally had cocaine in it. Originally, it had cocaine in it because cocaine wasn't looked at as a recreational drug or whatever. It was looked at something for doctors to use.
Yeah, to it's just like opiums and all that stuff.
They literally had cocaine in it. And the only reason they don't do that anymore is because they're not allowed to. Otherwise, they'd still have cocaine.
They don't need to. They just put up the sugar. It's just like a drug. The way it hits this, it's literally crazy.
Hits the same.
How do you know? Nestle. Oh, we didn't even touch on this too. As I said, this video would be 10 hours long if we touched on everything. Nestle turned one of their ships into a floating supermarket and they sent it into the rural areas in Brazil. In the little towns in hard places to reach that have populations of less than 1,000. Right? Nestle thought, well, we're doing these guys a favour. I don't know what they found. They know it's not good. But they said, well, it's an untapped market. Let's go. These people have never been subject to ultra-processed foods. Nestle said it was their goal to bring a healthy alternative option to the Brazilians' cultural diet. Before long, a wave of diabetes plagued the locals, especially the children, which is something that had never happened in the history of these towns. Ultra-processed food simply is just not good for you. The boat that Nestle had, that floating supermarket, it was a modern-day Trojan horse. This is especially true for children, because once you have a Kit Kat, you can't ever give that up.
Literally,
right? The sugar, it's the sugar. It hits you.
Yeah.
You know. But you just got to remember that these are edible substances. You know. As I said, Germany in the 1930s managed to turn a waste product of coal into edible fats. They then turned the edible fat into margarine. This isn't food. This is industrially produced edible substances. Just because it tastes good doesn't mean it is good. Without the colouring and the flavouring, it'd be inedible. And that's what you got to remember. When you look at this stuff, you look at the ingredients, it's got colouring and flavouring. Without those, you wouldn't eat it. It's shit. It's literally shit.
There's no energy, there's no nutrition in there. Like we said, you have to polish off every last morsel of it. Yeah. And you don't even feel full after that.
That's what I wanted to say. You said, I eat to feel full.
Oh, of course.
Feeling full has got nothing to do. Just so you know, everyone, feeling full has nothing to do with the capacity that's in your body. It's a chemical that your brain sends to you to stop eating. And the reason why they know this is because basically, people who have a damaged brain, that in bike accidents, car accidents, whatever, doctors always run tests on them, and scientists always grab them because we can figure out how the brain works. If your left side of your brain is damaged, when only the right side's working, we can see what type of bodily functions you still have, and then we can see, that side controls this, right? So there's people who don't have that chemical, and they'll keep eating. They'll keep eating, doesn't matter, right? But the reason why you feel full, as I said, is a chemical. So what happens, what people say, what doctors say is, if you eat a small portion of food, and within 20 minutes you still feel hungry, eat some more. But you won't, because when you eat, right, after about a certain amount of time, your brain sends the chemicals to say, yep, stop eating. But ultra-processed food, because in a bar, like for example a chocolate bar, there's probably 500 calories, depending on which one you have. Whereas if you was to eat like vegetables or normal actual real food, you can basically put 10 times the amount of calories in your body in a 20-minute window than you could eat in vegetables. Vegetables are very, very, very low in calories, Whereas this is why we're overweight, because you can eat 3 Big Macs in 20 minutes. It's so soft, you can inhale 100%. It. You can inhale it. These burgers,
it's not even that big as well.
Like, and they're about 600 calories. It is very interesting that everything is just so soft. You go and get a burger, the bun is beautiful, soft. The meat. That meat, the burger meat, you can't get a steak that soft. You cannot get your steak that soft. You just, it
falls apart.
It just falls apart. But yeah, we're doomed.
We're all doomed.
We're doomed. You have to go and read this book. You have to. It's worth every penny.
This is the most necessary book we've done so far. This is the most this is the only.
Yeah, because you can say what you want about history, but it's gone.
It's done.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's done. It's done. Literally,
it's gone. But this stuff, this is the future.
This is the future.
He even said we're scratching the surface, and he we don't know. All we as I said, he was a bit passive. He didn't say cut it out. He just said one interesting bit at the end. He kept saying it. He said all his friends, they believe he judges people for eating. He said he doesn't. He said, I don't care if you want to eat a bag of crisps. He said his friends will go and hide and eat crisps.
Yeah,
because he's released the book and he knows all about it.
Yeah,
but he said, I don't judge you for eating crisps.
He said he wants to eat, like when he went on his diet. When the guy went on his 80% diet, he literally said, "This is hard, man. Like I want my pizza. I want this. I want my lasagna or whatever. Like it must be ridiculously difficult."
Yeah, but you just got to know what it does to you. So I've cut it all out so I can get in shape, and then I'm gonna phase it all back in. No, but yeah, there's certain things. What's the top snacks? Your top snacks.
Top snacks. That's like.
Wait, before we go into top snacks, what do you think then? Like, because as I said, this has really changed me. I don't know if you can even.
No,
I'm gonna show you guys my screensaver. This is to remind me. I don't know if you can even see it. You probably can't see it. It basically says, eat real food.
Yeah.
That's what I've changed. This is to remind me.
Oh, yeah.
Remind me every day. Because I will go into a shop, right? Even yesterday. What was I in the shop for? I think I went for some avocado. Right? What did I eat yesterday? I think I went steak and avocado. But I went in for some avocado. And I walked down. I found myself in the sweets aisle. Somehow. And I walked through, I said, yeah, I'm strong. Yeah, I don't care about this. I walked through. And then my eye caught on Haribo. And, I love Haribo. Nowadays, I just love Haribo. And I ate, my mouth started watering and everything. And I said, nope, we're not doing it. And I walked out and I said, come on, man.
You know what it is? It's because like, after you eat it, you're not going to feel worse. Because it's satisfied a very temporary craving. Very fleeting craving.
It's not good for you. It's just simply not good for you. I thought about that xanthan gum, behind your washing machine, that gunk. That's what you're eating. You could literally get that, put the colour in and flavour on it, and it tastes exactly like
when you're
Haribo.
thinking like that,
all that sugar on there. Ugh, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. But anyway, top poisonous snacks.
Well, to be fair, my number one is going to be the Pringles now, just because I just feel like Pringles are amazing. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
You can
Texas barbecue. That. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What? Stop it. Stop.
Barbecue, bro. It's the perfect shape. You just put it on your tongue. Of course. I don't even think I chew them. I just put it in my mouth.
And softness.
I just kind of like
disintegrate. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous. But the reason why I say this the number one now is because like even when you're eating crisps or whatever, which will still be ultra processed foods or whatever, like I said, Doritos. They're all vaguely triangle, but there'll be different shapes, different sizes, broken here, broken there. Pringles, they are stacked like to the molecule, to the subatomic particle. They are identical, 100%.
That is
which is true. Like slightly been cloned.
Yeah,
and it's ridiculous. And the only crisp that is like that. So that's why
that's true. I've never even noticed that. Yeah, you know what I did yesterday?
What?
I made my own crisps.
Oh, was it? I was even thinking to do
carrot.
No, I'm not. Have you tried those? The Tyrell's ones, where it's like the vegetable crisps, where it's like the beetroot, the parsnip, the carrot, and they're fried, and it's got salt. Try it, honestly.
Well, I can't now. It's such a process. When I will do at some point. I will at some point. Like when I get in shape, when I'm in impeccable shape, I will treat myself to things.
Yeah,
but treat. It's not a treat. It's junk.
Treat myself to some hemlock.
Steak is a treat. Treat myself.
Yeah,
exactly.
Jesus.
But yeah, so I made carrot because I'm not even doing the carbs either. I was gonna do a potato, but I did out of carrot, and you can do it quite easily. You can do it in a microwave in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Okay. Just basically that's what. Remember I was telling you about the slicer. And yeah, they're good. They crunch. It does take a bit of perfection, trial and error. But yeah. But yeah, we are screwed, man. We are so screwed.
What would you say is your top snack that you're like, what?
I love Pringles. Pringles, Haribo's, but it's probably Haribo. It's funny, I don't do chocolate. I like chocolate, but I just feel like it's too calorie. I don't think it's too much calories. I like it.
It's not even really calories. It's just...
No, you don't need to worry about calories.
But when I eat, it's just like chocolate's so rich that I can eat like 1 or 2 pieces and I'm just like, now my whole mouth tastes like chocolate. I don't even want any more,
Oh yeah.
Have you ever... I don't know if
eat
you
less. The fuck?
No, I'm just saying, like, I'll eat a square, like a square of like a Dairy Milk bar, and I'll be like, yeah, that's it. Don't want no more.
You know what I used to do? I used to smoke. When I used to get the munchies,
yeah,
combine Ritz and Dairy Milk. The amount of calories.
Insane.
The amount of calories you're consuming. You combine it. When I say I used to get one Ritz and I'd put one Dairy Milk
That's
Square.
insane.
Oh, the texture. The
insane.
biscuit. Oh, it was. Oh,
And do you know how crazy that is? That you're literally gorging yourself on not food. It's so funny that it's not food. You're not even eating anything.
You're gorging yourself on rubbish.
You're just reminding yourself of flavours that you like on top of like synthetically processed stuff. Like, could be eating foam for all you know.
Yeah, it's chemicals, man. But yeah, no, you have to read the book to get the full experience. We just touched on the bare minimum.
ridiculous.
Probably about 5%. When I say 5% of what's in there.
Oh, ridiculous.
But yeah, listen, we need an outro.
Yeah, we need.
We need to do so many things.
Yeah, we need to do
we say it every time.
Every time.
But yeah, till next time.